What's up, you Detroit Degens? It is Sunday morning. Go grab your cup of coffee. Go grab your donut or your pastry or whatever you got here. Sit down and we got a plan to make some money today. I think today is a good day for us generally. For me, as a rule of thumb, because we got the Pro Bowl here today, BC. That we're gonna look at. We'll break down. We got a Piston game here a little early this afternoon that we'll be able to look at, but not much going on as far as most other football, as we said, Beastie, the calm before the storm here on this Sunday the week before the Super Bowl. But Beastie, what's going on, my friend? I saw you got your cup of coffee ready to go.
Yeah, working on my first cup of coffee here. I believe it says Cat Dad on it. Can you see? I got this as a gift for my birthday a year or two ago because Beastie's around here somewhere. I'm a cat dad, and here we go. I think that's the best part about having a cup of coffee in the morning. It doesn't matter what you put it in, right? Everybody, you see grown men driving their kids to school with a Barbie mug. It doesn't matter. You just got to get the coffee in your system. So whatever you use to drink it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've seen some of my friends with some pretty funny cups, cheerleading cups, their daughter cheerleads or whatever else. But hey, whatever suits your fancy, as long as you get your coffee in you, just like you said. But Beastie, yeah, kind of looking forward. I mean, kind of crazy weekend yesterday. I mean, shit, our two college basketball teams didn't look too good. Michigan State both gets their butts kicked. But hey, it's tough to win on the road in college basketball. But Beast, before we get too far, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor of the show, Better Rate Mortgage. Better Rate Mortgage. Family is more than blood. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family, actually better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit mybetterrate.com or call 248-480-4467 today. But Beastie, the big thing today that I want to talk about is just like I led into in the intro here. We got NFL Pro Bowl, the showdown slate. Like normally now we talked about, it seemed like this game was always after, the Super Bowl is in Hawaii, and we had all the, the good times with the skills competition, all that. We saw a little bit of that with the NHL, which I thought was kind of cool when they're in that Bellagio fountain shooting pucks all over the place. But Beastie, we got to talk a little bit about this Pro Bowl showdown here. Do you like to get in there and mix it up with a little Pro Bowl single game today?
Well, I am now that we talked about it, and before we started the broadcast, you dropped a bomb on me. I had no idea that tight ends are king here. I'm not going to steal your thunder. I'm just trying to set you up with a nice little meatball softball here. But yeah, I'm going to now that I know the inner workings of how both rosters are laid out tonight.
We just want to bring up the Pro Bowl has some rule changes. So it's kind of like the NFL version of 7-on-7. So, I mean, they put these rules in, obviously, for to increase the player safety. But the big thing, Beastie, is the offensive alignment. The offense must have a tight end and a running back on the field at all times. And because there's only two tight ends on each roster, it leads to increased playing time for the position. So let me repeat that. The offense must have a tight end on the field at all times. There's only two selected to each Pro Bowl roster. So these guys get all kinds of playing time today. The defensive alignment, the Pro Bowl requires that the defense must only use a 4-3 defensive alignment. They are not allowed to use the nickelback 5 defensive backs or a dime 6 defensive back package. The defense is only allowed to utilize cover 2 and press coverage and is not allowed to blitz. Limiting a defense to 4 DBs has a profound impact on its ability to cover the tight ends. In many cases, linebackers are not selected for their coverage ability, but find themselves one-on-one on the tight ends who were selected for their pass catching ability. The pace of play, too, is another something here. There's a 2-minute warning at the end of each quarter, and the ball changes possession at the start of the next quarter. So the change of possession with each quarter creates an actual stopping point where we may see starters give way to backups, other all small nuances with the clock, blah, blah, blah. The first half, the final 5 minutes of the second half too is kind of sped up there to increase the passing. Now the kickoff is they've already eliminated the kickoffs, giving the ball to each team on the 25-yard line. But the other thing too, Beastie, is for kickers, they shrunk the field goal from 18.6 feet to inches to 14 feet. So the kickers are not all that much in play. Now, looking at the Pro Bowl draft, the points by position here, looking at the tight end, 15.5 points they've averaged, wide receivers 13.4, defensive teams 13 points, quarterbacks have averaged only 9.7, kickers 8.75, and running backs 8.5. So, Beastie, as you can see what I'm getting at, you're making DFS showdown lineups today. Normally, tight ends aren't something that you want to prioritize. Very rare in occasions that you want to play the two tight ends. But I think today, Beastie, you got to have tight ends all over your lineup. So to me, that is the key today. That's the edge. So let's get us some tight ends. Let's build our teams around. Obviously, we know some of these starters are going to roll out there for a quarter or two. But, Beastie, I'm going to build some lines today and get the likes of George Kittles, the Kelseys, and these guys in my showdown lineups today.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm looking at here, right? So, as you're talking, I'm kind of writing stuff down and I'm playing along here. So you said if there's only, two tight ends available for AFC, NFC, it would be Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and the rookie Kyle Pitts. Now those are 4 players. So that leaves one roster spot. And this is on FanDuel, by the way. So with those 4 stud tight ends, you have one roster spot left over, and you have a massive $20,000 left over to do whatever you want to do. So after you roster those 4 tight ends, you can grab any player you want under the sun. So what are we going to go with? Herbert, Mahomes. We could even go Justin Jefferson or Devontae Adams. So to me, it's just I love when you build the slate, no matter what sport it is, where you can just cut it in half right off the bat. I know that's been the MO the last week or two is when we're talking hockey or even basketball here. So now I'm interested, right? Leading up to the Pro Bowl today, I had no interest in it. And now that I know that there's just a little inkling of leverage to be gained with the tight ends, my brain is just going wild here. So to me, now I'm going to have to build 20 lines, and I'm just going to swap out that one roster spot, which would be easy. I'm just going to go down the list, right? Herbert, Mahomes, Russ Wilson, he looked good at the skills competition. So to me, that's the way to go. But again, just that one roster spot, which makes it so easy. So if you had to choose, Scott, those 4 tight ends in your roster, and then you can pick any player under the sun in the Pro Bowl today, who would it be? Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I would think as I said, Justin Jefferson, young rookie, or not rookie, second-year kid on the path to superstardom. I think he might be some sort of, superstar in this game, at least, like getting a trophy, like the MVP trophy. I don't know if they give away that Nickelodeon MVP trophy here in the Pro Bowl, but now, yeah, I'm interested. This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the tight ends, I don't know if I'm gonna. I mean, it might not be a bad move to put all 4 tight ends in a lineup. I at least probably got to have 2 for sure men in every one of my teams. I mean, yeah, you got to pay up for Herbert, Mahomes. You got to pay up for all the quarterbacks, and you think to yourself like, okay, we know Herbert's a projected starter. Mahomes a backup. We got Kyler Murray. I don't even know if he's going to be a backup. I don't know how much he is going to get in there. But, you got Wilson, you got Cousins, these are the guys you're paying up for. But I think, like the wide receivers, I think that's where I'm going to go second. And as you mentioned, maybe a guy like, Hunter Renfrow, maybe a guy like Mike Evans, maybe some of these guys here that, the Deebo Samuels, Deontay Johnsons, Jefferson, obviously is a good one. I think some of these guys that have been in the game here the first few times, in their career are the guys that are going to get run out there. The veterans are the guys that are going to have first say, like, nah, I'm good. I'm all set. I'm not interested in playing the 4th quarter or the 3rd quarter or whatever else, because obviously this is pretty much an exhibition game where guys aren't going to try to get hurt, as like you mentioned before earlier in the week, BC, unless you're Sean Taylor and you want to rip somebody's head off who never knew how to tone it down. He had one speed, and that was fast, and that was full go all the time. And Sean Taylor definitely is missed. But Beastie, yeah, I think today, I mean, and don't be afraid to leave money on the table. I mean, if these quarterbacks are only averaging 9.75 points, they're only getting a quarter or, 3-4 series, and then they got to come out. So, I mean, tight ends, Beastie, tight ends, wide receivers, I think are the way to go. You might get a running back to fall in the end zone, but I just don't think the upside is there with these running backs. I mean, I just don't see a running back getting 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. I mean, there's just too much to go around here. But yeah, BC, if you had to look at these tight ends, though, who do you think would be your favorite guy? I mean, just kind of looking. We know Mahomes is in there with Kelsey, so we got, a natural pairing there. Obviously with Andrews, we don't have, Lamar. So, you kind of look about it there. And then obviously Kittle does not have, his quarterback. And then obviously Pitts does not have his. So really the only guy whose quarterback is matched up with the tight end is Kelsey. So Kelsey is not the starter. Actually, Andrews is the starter for the AFC. The NFC, that would be Mr. Kittle. So you know what, Beastie? I think Pitts might be a guy that might get a lot of run here in this third and fourth quarter. So I think Pitts is a guy that I'm going to be looking at today. I mean, he's a young guy. He's a guy they're going to say Kelsey and Kittle and Andrews are going to tell Pitts, I mean, obviously they're both on 2 different teams, but I mean, he's the youngster of the group. So he's the guy I could see has to play that third, fourth quarter there, especially if it's a blowout. So Beastie, I think I might like some Pitts today.
Yeah, I think that's the move for sure, right? After his rookie season, he was, most people, they look, how can I put this? There's always unreasonable expectations on rookies. In the last few seasons, we've been absolutely spoiled with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. And to be fair, Kyle Pitts had an outstanding rookie season at the tight end position, but it kind of was, not swept under the rug per se, but everybody just glanced over it because of Jamar Chase, because of the run that the Cincinnati Bengals are on, because of the massive Studley breakout of Jonathan Taylor at running back for the Colts here. But to me, I love the idea of putting Kyle Pitts in my MVP spot. And then if you, again, I know not a lot of folks are like me. They're not like you. We all have different playing habits, and the end result is the same. Build a competitive line and then cash out at the end of the night here. But to me, the idea of putting Kyle Pitts in my MVP spot, along with Justin Jefferson and the rest of those tight ends, Kittle, Kelsey, and Andrews, I think that's the move I'm going to make. I'm going to book a few once the broadcast is over today. But yeah, I like the idea of Kyle Pitts in there, wherever you want to put him, Jefferson, wherever you want to put him. These kids they're young. Jefferson in his second year, Pitts in his rookie season. And I'm going to stack up young kids like that the best that I can, because as you said, Travis Kelsey is, what is he, in his early 30s? I mean, he has more fun, on the sideline, talking with the fans, talking with the, his teammates, than playing on the field. Because as you put it, it's just an exhibition. That's the last thing any of the coaches or even the players want to do is tweak an ankle or do something to your knee or your hip out there, because it's just an exhibition. It's not crazy. And I'd like to think the collection of veteran talent, you can even lump Patrick Mahomes in there. He's been in the league 4 years, all these AFC championship games he's played in. I'd like to imagine these seasoned vets and studs and superstars will cede work to the young kids like Pitts, like Jefferson, maybe even a little sprinkle to Jonathan Taylor, because right now it's all eyes on the Pro Bowl. I haven't looked back through the years of all the broadcasting numbers and what it's drawn. I would believe it's not anything close to playoff football or Monday Night Football here, but everybody in the world, it's on their mind today. Let's tune into the Pro Bowl. We'll see what's going on. And realistically, someone just watches 5 minutes of it. They put on the last 5 minutes of it. So to me, all these veterans, I'd be willing to bet, fingers crossed, that they say, yeah, give all the young kids the run here. Kyle Pitts, and Justin Jefferson, even to a certain extent, Jonathan Taylor. So these kids are going to see, more minutes than we would expect here. So that's the way I'm going here. They're full of piss and vinegar, as you put it there. Their legs are strong. They're just ready to go. And in comparison to like Kelsey, Mahomes, even Deebo Samuel and Kittle after a long season, the way they lost in the playoffs, they're still not 100%. So why are these these coaches going to put out Deebo Samuel or George Kittle in an exhibition game. So to me, it's all about youth. It's all about these young up and coming stars here, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, Kittle, I mean, they just got bounced. I mean, maybe Debo they'd use a little bit more, but obviously Kittle and the 49ers getting bounced. I mean, I think that's why Pitts is going to be to a guy to be reckoned with. Now, I was looking back at Kelsey. Kelsey posted 26.1 and 12.6 DK points his last two. So, I mean, 38.7 points in his last two Pro Bowl games. Obviously, we know his soulmate, Patrick Mahomes, is also in the game. But, looking at Jefferson, I really like Jefferson. Another thing I noted, too, there's been 5 interceptions in the last two Pro Bowls. So, that's why some defenses, too, might be in play today if you're playing on DK. I know you can use the defense. But, yeah, just want to give a shout-out. Hey, Joey 2 times out there in the chat. We appreciate Joey always hanging out with us. So I want to give a shout out to Joey. But hey, if you guys got any questions or anything about the Pro Bowl, any guys that you might want to look at, any kind of bets, anything like that, go ahead, fire away. We'll do our best to get to them. But Beastie, as far as maybe any running backs, anything like that, does anybody here maybe kind of jump out at you? I know it's kind of tough for us to gauge. I mean, we got Jonathan Taylor. Looks like he's the guy that should start. Looks like Dalvin Cook should start here for the NFC, but in the AFC, we got Chubb, Connor, and then Najee Harris. And then also behind Cook, we got Kamara, Patrick, actually Ricard. He's listed as a fullback. Don't expect him. And then Kuschek is also a fullback. But, yeah, so, I mean, it looks like we got Cook, Connor for the NFC and Kamara, and then we got Harris, Chubb, and Taylor for the AFC.
Yeah, my move here would be as I, going with my game plan here. Najee Harris, kid had an amazing rookie season with Pittsburgh. I expect him to see, a ton of work in this one. Their season has been over since Wild Card Weekend, so you're looking at what now, Scott? Like a month since they've stopped playing, and even Nick Chubb to a certain extent. This guy, to be fair with you, I mean, he's not a defensive player, but every time I've watched Nick Chubb in practice or absolutely during the game time here, Chubb has only one switch as well, and it's boom, it's go 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 go. And now in the Pro Bowl, what's fun about this is wake up, we're having coffee and we're talking about the Pro Bowl here, and it gets the creative juices flowing in terms of what I expect in the game script. And look, I'm here in Detroit, I have no say so in Vegas how the coaches use these players here, but when you play Nick Chubb, you don't have to worry about Kareem Hunt stealing some of his work. You don't have to worry about Baker Mayfield being a loose cannon and taking ill-advised sacks here. So you're going to have a very competent, all pro, all stud quarterback handing this guy the ball, or like little under routes here. So I love the idea of Nick Chubb, and I actually love the idea of Najee Harris as well, because when we look back through the regular season, and look, I keep going back to the regular season and the real life teams and the real life, quarterbacks here, because that's all we have to go on. This, boom, that's what we're looking for. And with Najee Harris, we don't have to worry about Ben Roethlisberger throwing him a lame duck or a dead ball here, or Deontay Johnson or any of these other guys, really eating into his workload here. When they make a decision, yes, we're going to the play calls in and goes, 404 right, X sleeve to Nick Chubb here. It's his play, it's his ball, and he's going to get down the road, down the field here. And as you put it earlier, maybe even when we were just talking on the phone, not broadcasting, these guys aren't looking to murder each other. They're not looking to kill each other. It's an exhibition, and they get paid a couple bucks, winning side to losing side here. So if they call a play for Chubb, it's him, and he's going to, I would imagine the guy's going to eat up like 8 yards a carry in this one. So let's hope they keep racking it up here. When it comes to Najee Harris, I think they use him, somewhat just a tad different than in the regular season here. We all know he could carry the ball, and he's an awesome kid out of Alabama here. But he's also good at catching passes. So to me, I could see a case here where, use him in flat here. They put him like a wide receiver screen kind of behind the line of scrimmage as a running back, and let him do some damage with some blockers in front of him. So I've talked myself into Nick Chubb and Najee Harris as well. And here I had no plan of watching the Pro Bowl, and now I'm all about it now. I'm super excited about it and just stacking players based on my own weird game scripts here, Scott.
No, but that's the fun of DFS, Beastie, is getting in there, getting a little bit different. And then, and this is a game like today. I mean, the salary cap, don't be afraid to leave up to 10K, 7K, 8K on the table when you're building your lineups. I mean, you don't need to have these guys. I was just kind of looking, generally when I like to build, a football team, an NFL team, I mean, a quarterback for me, a guy I usually like to look at is a guy who can scramble around, maybe run one in. And I was looking here. Lamar Jackson, since 2013, has the best rushing line, 2 for 6 yards, no touchdowns. So obviously, quarterbacks aren't running around in the Pro Bowl, so that is kind of taken off the table. So Beastie, the only thing that really stands out are the tight ends. So as we kind of mentioned, they're obviously got to play a lot of playing time here. I think you're right with Kyle Pitts over Kittle, but I think all those guys here in play. We've seen Kelsey, as we mentioned, have a pretty good game. But a lot of these guys in this game are basically replacements. Like CeeDee Lamb, he's a Super Bowl replacement. Obviously, they're in the NFC for Kupp. Deontay Johnson, he's in there, obviously, for Chase. And then you look at Najee Harris. He's a Super Bowl replacement there for the AFC there for Mixon. And then, obviously, let's see here. Mac Jones, he got in there just due to injury replacement to Lamar Jackson. So some of these guys here were not actually chosen, but they were kind of thrown in here at the last minute. So sometimes those guys are guys here that will take that extra playing time. They're happy to be there. It's the old veterans here that I worry about. But yeah, looking forward, Beastie, to kind of mixing it up, getting in here in this Pro Bowl. Now just looking at a bet here, Beastie. I don't know. I mean, we're looking at AFC -1, 62.5 is the over under. I was just trying to look and see if I could find any kind of trends here for the AFC NFC. I'm not having much luck, but 62.5, Beastie. I mean, that's pretty high for even for a exhibition game. What do you think there? Do you think both teams can put up 30-some points here today, or do you think the under would be, to me, I mean, picking on the teams there, I mean, you might as well flip a damn coin if you ask me, but the over-under, I think, might be something to look at, but maybe like a first half, maybe a first half over, something like that. Maybe we could get it at 32, 33, didn't really look, but is anything here, betting lines, anything stand out to you?
Yeah, I think it's all about offense here, right? Defense wins championships, but that's like regular season and actual NFL playoff stuff. I believe if you watch, and I'm going to make a comparison here, and I think it's on par with what I'm trying to do. Last night was the NHL All-Star game, and yes, I watched a portion of it. I had no idea they split the 4 conferences, and they played each other, and then the winner of each one of those met in the middle, and they played another 2 periods here. So to me, there was probably, off the top of my head, just when I was watching, there was probably, around 25 to 28 total goals scored in only 4 periods between these teams. I didn't watch the championship game where the winning team splits $1 million and boom, we go from there. So all-star games, even NBA, right? I think baseball is the only all-star game that is meaningful because the winner, the AL or the NL, that the winner of that hosts the World Series if you make it that far. But to me, hockey, basketball, and even football, it's all about the offense. And again, when you go through the NFL, the regular season, and what they're doing, they keep making these just little subtle changes to kind of push along to benefit the offense here. So when it comes to the Pro Bowl, they can really manipulate this thing, for the better, for more points, for yardage, and nobody really cares because it doesn't count for anything at the end of the day with these NFL teams, schedules or things like that here. So to me, I'm going to go over on this one just based on the fact that it's just going to be go, go, go on the offense. And I know we've all watched a Pro Bowl before. They don't try to murder each other, as I mentioned, a few moments ago. They want to get these guys in space. They want to get them around because it's more fun when you can have it when you got like a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, and it's more fun when you can, pitch it to Najee Harris or pitch it to Jonathan Taylor and watch this guy take off down the sideline for 80 yards. Because again, if you've ever watched regular NFL football, that's really the draw. The heart and soul of the NFL, even to the casual fan, is the offense. We want to see a 75-yard touchdown pass. We want to see a quarterback like Mahomes or Herbert bomb the ball 50, 60 yards down the field for a touchdown. That's what makes it exciting. And then when you rip those layers off, if you're like me, or I'm not going to speak for you, Scott, but we love some defense matchups as well. But maybe that's more complex. You put thinking too much into the Pro Bowl here. I think it's just offense, offense, offense. So give me the over in this one. And I know we'll get to it at the end of the broadcast, best bets and stuff, but you can't go wrong with some anytime touchdowns here from some of these guys. And now, as I told you, I built my DFS line with all 4 tight ends and then one kind of roving spot with Jefferson, Taylor, Najee Harris, however you want to put it. Get some anytime touchdowns and just your favorite players, right? That's the move. It's a Pro Bowl. It's for us. It's to show folks, in a way, thank you for watching the season. Thank you for voting for these young up and coming studs or seasoned vets here. So to me, if you're going to bet anything, no matter what sports book you go to, I'm not even going to make notes, Scott. And if I'm not making notes, then it must not be serious because I write down everything here. But to me, if you're going to place a bet today, bet on your favorite player, right? Bet on the guy you like the most. If you won your seasonal fantasy title on the strength of Jonathan Taylor, make a few bets on Jonathan Taylor. That's what the Pro Bowl is about. It's for fun. It's for entertainment. And also, in a way, it's the NFL saying to us, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. You voted for these guys. So here we are. If you're going to make a bet today, make it on the strength of, I love this guy. I like this guy, hometown kid, whatever the connection may be. That's the move here. And I think it's that's simple, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually, while you're talking, trying to see if I could find some anytime touchdown props. DK and FanDuel, neither one at this point has anything out there. I mean, obviously being 9:30, the game don't start until 3. So maybe we'll get a few a little bit beforehand. But I mean, if that's the case, as I mentioned, pay attention to these tight ends and these wide receivers. I think that is the way to go. The over under in the game at the first half is 31.5 on DK. So, I think that might be actually a little too high. I mean, these Pro Bowls are just so hard to gauge. I mean, you just don't know what is going to happen. But Beastie, want to give a shout out to our other sponsor of the show, and that is the Jars Cannabis Company here, Beastie. So Jars Cannabis, you can shop jarscannabis.com. They offer delivery, pickup, and in-store shopping, Michigan's largest variety for any of the lifestyle needs. Jars Cannabis is a medical and recreational retailer located throughout Michigan, Lansing, Detroit, Flint, Grand Rapids, and more. And hey, BC, if you mention the Woodward Sports Network or the Woodward Bet Show, you get 20% off your next Jars order. So be sure to mention us, get you maybe a couple pre-rolls or, maybe a little bag of gummies or whatever else suits your fancy. But Beastie, today in the NBA, we do have our beloved Pistons hitting the hardwood today. Another rematch here with the Timberwolves, which we saw the other day. Now, the 3:30 start time for this one's a little bit earlier. There's actually 3 games here today in the NBA that start out at 3:30. But these Cade Cunningham list Pistons here struggling a little bit. I know we got Grant back. But, 50% of the money here on this game, though, it's pretty spread. The Pistons are getting 12 over under 230 here, but the Pistons are 2-8 in their last 10 straight up. 6-4, though, against the spread. Minnesota is 7-3 straight up and 5-5 here. But, Beastie, 3:30 Piston game here. Got a matinee game here. What are you thinking about our Pistons getting back on the floor here with Minnesota? They ended up losing the other night, 128-117 at home to Karl Anthony Towns here and these Minnesota boys here. So what are you thinking here? Do you think the Pistons got a shot here, minus or plus the 12?
Well, here's the thing with the Pistons, right? We were on air, last time they played, and to me, Karl Anthony Towns was just he was so good against the Pistons here. And that final score, you'd think, oh, it's 123 to 117, I believe you said. It would lead you to believe it was like really close, but no, it wasn't. That game, Minnesota got up pretty big at one point. I believe they were winning like 83 to like 60 something. And then, in the fourth quarter, a lot of the Minnesota Timberwolves, they were kind of just in and out of the lineup, mainly resting. And the Pistons kind of made they made a game of it, but it was just too little too late, not enough time left over. And so you get the rematch today in Minnesota. And I love I don't even know if you remember saying this, but, when people that I respect or look up to speak, I write stuff down like you or beer here. And I looked into you said, how did you put this? You go, well, right now, the Pistons are getting back, like Olnick or Killian Hayes or some guys that have been, on the shelf or in and out of the lineup. And now they're getting a little boost of health from these guys. And it's going to take time, to fall back into the mood here or gel, right? Because Kelly Olnick is there. I believe he's their center, as go around, center and power forward here. They brought this guy in, and he's been a pretty capable, basketball player for quite some time, but he's missed a large portion of the season. And now Cade is out with that hip flexor. I'm seeing that Cade is now a game time decision today. Hopefully he plays here. I think he does, like 32, 33 minutes here. But again, you have to, when it comes to basketball, right? I mean, I don't want to speak for hockey or football here, but basketball, people think it's just a simple thing. You line up your best 5 players and you put the ball in the hoop here. But in the NBA, it's everybody's got to get rolling. Everybody's got to get on the same page to kind of make some hay here or do some damage in the game here. So when you have all these players, you have a collection of let's just call it like 8 to 10 players, and they're all very good. They're very capable, but that you just always mixing and matching the lines. Nobody can really get comfortable, or nobody can really, know what the other guy's thinking or what they're doing. If you look back to the history of basketball or just the season here, some of the best teams, they know what their brother next to them is going to do without them having to say it. They could just give the guy a look, and he knows, oh, that maybe I should go, on the outside and cut in and give and go stuff, whatever like that. So to me, the Pistons today, they have a chance here if Cade is active to kind of, start doing that now. I'm not saying day one, because you would think that, the first game of the season is that, but to me, these guys got to start, on a roll. They all got to be healthy, and I'm sure, I'm not saying anything out of school here. They all want to be healthy and playing, on the same games and the same minutes here. But to me, it's going to be another tough situation in Minnesota here. Karl Anthony Towns is unbelievable. That second year dude, Anthony Edwards, I believe, 34, 35 minutes. This guy, he's massive. We watched him, last week here. This guy's arms, he looks like a professional weightlifter. I mean, it's crazy to me. So they got 2 very big dudes, and K-A-T, Karl Anthony Towns, and Anthony Edwards, only $7,700 on FanDuel here. And then you go down the list, D'Angelo Russell, I don't believe he played last week when they were in town. So to me, can the Pistons hang with Minnesota? As I said last time out, the final score wasn't indicative of how the game went. They were pretty out of it early on, and they made a comeback here. So I'm hoping the best for Cade Cunningham. Hopefully he can be back. Obviously, it goes without saying, he is the rock of this team. When he's out of the lineup, it's just like, what are we going to do? It's like the Three Stooges running around with their hair on fire. They really don't know what the heck they're doing other than putting the ball in the hoop here. So to me, Detroit is at Minnesota. Getting 12 points in a professional basketball game seems like a lot here. And so far at this moment in time, it's only 9:30 this morning Eastern time. I'm going to lean, Detroit getting the 12 points here. I believe if Cade Cunningham is back, you're going to see him on the court a lot, and they're going to be working in Kelly Olynyk here. So I believe even if the Pistons don't win, I still think they're able to cover here. 12 points in the NBA is it's a little high. It's too much for me to kind of go, nah, I still want Minnesota here. So give me the Pistons to cover, Minnesota to win.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a little bit more info about Cade, but hey, as we learned from the beer man in a situation like this, I mean, if you believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to kick the Pistons' ass today and they're going to blow them out, well, now you might want to look at the unders in some of these guys' player props because you may not get them in the third and fourth quarter, especially the fourth quarter. I know we had Beerman call that when the Pistons played Golden State and Steph Curry. We literally called the under in the points on Steph Curry, and then he didn't play pretty much the whole fourth quarter, which, was the original plan. So, I mean, hey, if you think the Pistons are going to get their ass kicked today, maybe you look at a guy like Cade. Look at his under in the points, which is 23.5. Maybe you look at his under in the rebounds, which is 10.5. Maybe he only gets 28 minutes, 25 minutes today because of a blowout. So if that's the case, maybe we look at the under in some of these points. I mean, that is something definitely to look at when, there's blowout potential. I mean, playing DFS in the NBA, some of these matchups may look good and look nice and juicy and tasty, but if they get up or down by 20, I mean, you're looking at a chance here where your guys are sitting on the bench. So something you definitely don't want. But hey, if you bet the under in some of these props and there's a blowout, obviously that is something to look at. But as far as the Pistons go, these trends here, the Pistons, kind of silly one here. The over is 4-0 in the Pistons' last 4 Sunday games. The Pistons are also 5-2 with the over in the last 7 games following a straight up loss. You look at Minnesota here. Minnesota is 4-0 in the last 4 home games as a favorite. The over is 4-0 in the last 4 Sunday games for the Timberwolves as well. So there you go. The last month, both teams have hit it over on a Sunday. The over is 5-0 in the Timberwolves' last 5 games playing on 2 days rest. So that is something to consider as well. I mean, the other day I was on the under in the Piston game, just kind of figuring, the flow gets mixed up when you start throwing in different guys. So that worked out for us the other day against Memphis. But yeah, looking at this one here, I want to hear a little bit more about Cade as it gets closer. If Cade is out, I think I may like the under here in this game. But Beastie, looks like we got a little game at 3:30. We got the Pro Bowl. Looks like everything is gonna get started here about 3:00. But I'll tell you one thing I am looking forward to. We got next weekend. Make sure you guys are checking out. We got that Cupid Undie Run that Woodward Sports is sponsoring. Looks like you go to a bar and you run around in your underwear. I might have to go down there and check that out. I'm pretty sure that'd be a sight for sore eyes. And then on Sunday for the Super Bowl, we're going to be over there at the Brass Rail starting with a pregame around 4:30. So I think I'm going to be over there. I'll do a segment on some sports bets, maybe some showdowns and all that fun stuff. So Beastie, if you ain't got nothing going, make sure you get you some friends, grab some whoever else, grab Beastie, hell, grab your cat, and maybe we'll have us a little party over there at the Brass Rail. We'll watch the Super Bowl, but which I'm looking forward to. Hey, it's almost like, your stepbrother, whoever's in the Super Bowl with Stafford, your ex brother-in-law, whatever else. But I'm rooting for Stafford and the boys. Obviously, I got a bet that I had at the beginning of the season. But Beastie, before we get into too much here, is there anything you want to mention about this Sunday? Anything you want to look at? I know we got the final round of some golf, which I know some people like to bet on, but with football winding down, just kind of looks like our options are limited here on these Sundays.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know, NHL is on break. I mean, they come back on Monday. I believe on Monday it's only a 2-game slate. The New Jersey Devils go to Ottawa to take on the Senators. So whatever you're doing, I say it all the time, and more so now than ever. Just stop it. Stop and take a breath. Stop and rest it and lay around. It is Sunday. That's the perfect time for it, right? We got the Pro Bowl, nothing crazy here, and no hockey. You can watch the last round of golf. I believe it's the Pro-Am. I was watching that a little bit yesterday because Bill Murray, I don't know if anybody saw this video where he was on, I believe the 18th hole here, and he was he walks up to the green, right? He's like 4 feet away from the hole, and he looks one way, and he puts his arm behind him, and he taps the ball backwards into the hole here. I mean, Bill Murray he's a funny dude, right? He's just a legend. And then even when he's playing golf, he's too cool for school here. And even Josh Allen was there, right? the Buffalo Bills quarterback, and the lady was asking him, like, what are you doing? And he goes, yeah, I wish I was playing meaningful football, but I got to get more swings. And so the Pro-Am is always fun because you never know what's going to happen, who's going to say something. But deep down here, I just want to tell folks it's okay to take the day off of betting. It's okay to take the day off of playing DFS here. Stop, rest, and relax, because starting tomorrow, Monday, the 7th here, we're on our way to Super Bowl. That's the Super Bowl week leading up to Super Bowl on Sunday here. So I would imagine here, I actually know here, but the Woodward bets this whole week, even the bottom line with Braylon and Armani, it's just going to be jam-packed with Super Bowl stuff. And I know here, Scott, every day I would like to think we're going to be talking about a different prop bet or something that comes to mind that we didn't see the day before here. So we're on the road to the Super Bowl here, and just take the day off here to rest and relax. As I mentioned before a few days ago, this is the calm before the storm here. So nothing wrong with laying around all day, put some pasta on the stove, however you want to do it, and just rest and relax. There is nothing wrong with that.
Probably not. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a long season, long grind. I mean, obviously, playing all the different sports as we do, you got to look for that breather type opportunity. You know what, Beastie? I'll give everybody a little bit of advice that I think is good. If you ain't got much going on today, pick up the phone. And how about you call somebody that you haven't talked to in a while? Maybe an aunt, maybe an uncle, maybe a grandma, maybe your parents, maybe a brother, maybe a sister, maybe a friend you haven't talked to in a while. Pick up the phone, give them a call, see what they're doing today. Maybe that would make brighten somebody's day. I think that is something that I've been trying to make a little bit more, be more conscious of here, especially maybe a simple little text to somebody. Hey, man, how's it going? Just thinking about you today. Whatever else. I think all of that really matters. But one other thing, as I've been saying, hey, check out all these sports books this week. A lot of them have different type promotions you can get on. Obviously, with the Super Bowl, all these sports books got all kinds of promos out there. Make sure you're checking that out. Make sure you're taking advantage of all these promos here that are coming about. But yeah, looking forward to this next week here. We got lots to talk about. Big Super Bowl here next week, so definitely looking forward to that. But Beastie, before we get on out of here, we got to give everybody some best bets here for the day. I got one or two that I'll be looking at. The NBA is obviously a little tough, but we do have some earlier games here. But Beastie, anything standing out to you? The Pro Bowl, any NBA, maybe a little college hoops, anything else here standing out?
Yeah, I have 3 NBA bets here, and they're pretty easy peasy. My first one, the Atlanta Hawks go to Dallas to take on the Mavericks here, and Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson. These guys are, elite, right? We know Luka's elite. I have him in terms of DFS here, playing dang near 40 minutes and putting up probably realistically 60 plus FanDuel points here. So again, for that fact, I love the Dallas Mavericks minus the 2.5 points, but I would prefer taking Atlanta at Dallas, the over 220.5 here. When we go down the list, the Pacers go to Cleveland to take on the Cavs here. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are, they're hanging tough. I mean, they're looking to make some trades so that they're in this thing, or they think they can be in this thing here. The Pacers, as we know, Domantas Sabonis is their starting power forward and our center here. You're looking at the guy plays well. I'm not trying to put him down here, but I think Cleveland's just going to be too much. So I'm going to take Cleveland minus the 6 points at home. And then my last one, this one tips off first at 3:30. So we have a few hours to get our bets in here. But the Brooklyn Nets go to Denver to take on the Nuggets here. And Denver has been unbelievably well. The Joker is a superstar, right? Will Barton doing his thing here as well. So give me the Denver Nuggets minus 6 points at home against Brooklyn. And some folks may say, well, you're going to bet against Brooklyn, Harden and Kyrie and Patty Mills in a way. I know Patty Mills was a good DFS option this week as the Brooklyn Nets are, some of these guys are in and out of the lineups here, but Denver is going to be too much. And who's to say James Harden doesn't get the day off? It is Sunday. We know, the NBA coaches and players, the propensity to just rest on Sundays or load management and everything. So to tie this thing up in a bow here, give me the over in the Atlanta Hawks and Dallas Mavericks game. Give me Cleveland minus 6 at home against the Pacers. And then, as I said, give me the Denver Nuggets minus 6 points at home versus the Brooklyn Nets as they just keep shuffling their roster, trying to work something out as these guys all get healthy and on the same page here.
Yeah, I got two best bets today. One is in college basketball in the Big Ten. I'm going to take Maryland, getting 9 points, going to Ohio State. It's always fun for me to root against the Buckies. So I just think Maryland, I just think that is too many points here. So I'm going to roll with Maryland getting the 9. 65% of the money is also coming in on Maryland. So looks like I have some friends with that one as well. And then the other one in the NBA, BC, that Brooklyn Denver game, I'm going to go with the over 229 in that game. Brooklyn's defense has been absolutely horrendous lately. It doesn't even look, it looks like they're playing all-star game type defense. It's just been god awful. Just haven't been liking how they've been playing, like 125, 121, 112, 124. Last time they played here, Brooklyn, Denver, this game, excuse me, had 242 points. So I'm going to looking at that as well. So I have the Maryland Terrapins against the Buckies, and then I have the over in this Nets and Nuggets game here. But Beastie, before we run out of here, I just want to give one last shout out to our sponsor of the show, Better Rate Mortgage. Better Rate Mortgage, family is more than blood. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family, actually better. With Better Rate Mortgage, visit mybetterrate.com or call 248-480-4467 today. But Beastie, before we run out of here, you got any words of wisdom for the people here today that you want to share? I know a lot of times, we always like to tell everybody, hit that like button for us, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
But here we got a Sunday, as you mentioned, not much going on. You don't always have to bet, whatever else. If we do appreciate you guys joining us here today, but Beastie, any Beastie words of wisdom before for this Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not your boss. I'm not anybody's boss realistically, but anybody that's out there watching this right now, it's okay. Take the day off. You can lay around, be in peace. There's a lot of good stuff to catch up on. The new Jack Reacher on Prime, The Witcher with Henry Cavill. There's too many good things on TV right now to be, you stuck and just running too many errands. It's Sunday. Take the day off, be in peace, rest, and then boom, when you wake up, we're talking Super Bowl here. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks for having me, Scott.
Yeah, appreciate you joining us here today. Appreciate everybody joining us here today. Shout out to Kareem behind the glass. Appreciate your hard work and good job for us here. But for Beastie, for Scott, this is the end of the Woodward Bet Show on this Sunday here before the calm and the storm. And we got the Super Bowl next week. And we will catch you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you.